Okay, we got it. Sorry for the couple minute delay here. Welcome to the Texas Apartment Association's Education Foundation series, Hints from HR. I'm Blaise Spitaleri with Gemstar Construction. We hope everybody's enjoying their summer out there so far. If you're watching us live, please feel free to interact, ask some questions, because we do have an amazing conversation today on a topic that I feel like everybody is going to need in the multifamily universe and really beyond. We're going to talk about health and wellness programs. And Nicole Block's not joining us today, unfortunately. She's got other obligations, so we hope that she comes back next month. But
vacation.
Yes, which
that's
health
part
and
of health and wellness.
Absolutely.
Perfect for health and wellness. So we're hoping that she gets fully recharged and back in action with us next month. And but we also have the ever so awesome Becca Ramadi, the Vice President of the Texas Apartment Association's Education Foundation, joining us.
Hello.
So we're super excited to have her as always. And then we have Miss Tovah Agler. So Tovah is with Gables Management, and I am going to allow Tovah to introduce herself because we're going to run through a whole plethora of conversation about Gables. So Tovah, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do and how you got here.
Okay, no problem. Well, first of all, Blaise, bravo on that opening, because even just saying Texas Apartment Association Education Foundation every time is probably quite a feat. So as Blaise said, my name is Tovah Agler. I'm super excited to be here. I am the Senior Manager of Benefits at Gables Residential, and I've been with Gables about 10 and a half years. So been with Gables quite some time now. And of all the things I do related to benefits, my favorite part of my job is absolutely related to our wellness program. I'm really proud of our program, really proud of what we offer our associates, and I love to talk about it. So when Becca and Blaise said that this was an opportunity to do that, I was just super excited and totally on board. So really happy to be here. Thank you for having me. And yeah, I guess I'll dive right in. It sounds like that's sort of the direction we want to go. So you know, the sort of overarching part of our program is what we call here at Gables Fit for Funds. It is our fully branded wellness program here at Gables. Started about 12 or 13 years ago. And when we started the program, it was super kind of homegrown. We managed it just ourselves. It was primarily associates would say in different regions, hey, I want to do a walk, 5K. Can we sponsor it? Can we have other associates join? And that was sort of what it was. It was a way for associates to be healthy and a way to do it together. So a way to integrate it as a part of our culture and be healthy and spend some time together. And as a bonus, they could earn at the time, we gave them money off of their health insurance premiums. And then over the years, the program has really evolved to include a number of different things that we're really proud of. Something that all Gables associates are familiar with and would tell you about are our annual benefits fairs that are sponsored by Fit for Funds. And our annual benefits fairs are held during the open enrollment period. And they're held in our major regions across the country. And it gives associates an opportunity to come together and spend the day focusing on taking care of themselves. So when they come, I'm sorry.
If you don't mind, let me just ask you a quick question
Sure.
as we're kind of transitioning from the program. So you have, as an organization, insurance enrollment fairs, and do you simultaneously do them at the same time in different regions? And then what is the reach of them as well? How many regions do you do them? How many of these are they same time? What does that all look like? And if people are outside those regions, how do they get to those fairs?
Those are very good questions, Blaise. It's like you're a professional at this. So yeah, so we typically have 9 fairs that we hold. So we're in 9 different regions, our major markets where we hold these fairs. And when I say major markets, as long as there is about 35 associates in that region, we will hold a fair there. So it doesn't have to be there doesn't need to be 300 people in the region. It can be quite small and we'll still have a fair there. And we hold them typically over the course of 2 weeks. And it's basically like we split our HR team up and half take advantage of, I would say, like the east part of the country and the other half handle the west part of the country. And we do them almost every other day to try to get them into that 2-week period. It coordinates exactly with our open enrollment so that when associates are at the fair, if they need assistance with open enrollment, we're there to help them with that so that they don't have to do that on their own. We always have our vendor partners there. So Aetna is there with us, Healthiest You, our telemedicine provider, Empower Retirement, which is our 401k administrator. They're also there as well to answer questions that any associates may have. And we offer free biometric screenings and free flu shots to every associate that comes as well.
Oh, wow. Now, so you have all the representatives there from your vendor partners. Anybody from the organization, they come in, you encourage them to enroll. Now, is this just for, is it encouraged, I should say, then for every employee to go there to do all these screenings? And what else is there? So you're saying biometric screenings.
Yeah.
Is it like set up just like a trade show fair? Do they have like booths set up?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So there's a separate booth for each vendor partner. And then the way that the biometric screenings work is you really go through with one biometric screener to complete your glucose screening, to complete your blood pressure, to complete your BMI. You stay with one screener that walks you all the way through and then coaches you on your results at the end. Every associate is welcome to come. Every associate is encouraged to come. You don't have to be participating on our medical insurance. You don't even have to be benefits eligible. So for the handful of associates we have that work very part-time, they're still encouraged to come. Everybody should come to the benefits fairs. We always have swag that we do. The fairs usually have a theme. 2 years ago, it was Catch the Wellness Wave. So it was all Hawaiian themed, and we gave away sunglasses and pullovers and everybody got a lei. So we try to make it a really fun experience so that people are not just there to take care of themselves, but they're also having a really good time.
And probably connecting with other folks that they don't see on a regular basis as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Especially for our corporate and regional associates who sometimes don't get a chance to visit our communities as often as they would like. It's a great opportunity for them to spend time with the on-site associates who they email with and Teams with, and they're on the phone with all the time, but they don't get enough face-to-face. So it's a great opportunity for that as well.
So Tovah, I know this is something that's been going on for quite a while. Can you talk a little bit about any trends you've seen come out of this, or benefits that you've seen to the companies that other operators might want to take on something like this, and why it's so important?
Absolutely. So we always ask for feedback after the fairs are done. And in fact, the way that Fit for Funds changed from being the homegrown program that it used to be to now being a fully integrated program we partner with Virgin Pulse. And the reason that we moved to this type of fully integrated program was that we got feedback from associates based on these fairs that they wanted a little more. What we also found was that our service associates were not participating as much as we would have wanted them to in the fairs and in our previous iteration of our wellness program. So we realized that there was a need to engage them in a different way. And that's why we kind of segued into the program as it stands now with our partner Virgin Pulse. It's a completely mobile program. Everything is right here. It integrates with our rewards and recognition program internally. So when you're at the fair and you get your flu shot and you get your biometric screening, you earn points on the Virgin Pulse platform. And then those points become things that you can spend on the rewards and recognition platform. So we really make an effort to make everything integrate. We really make an effort to take any feedback that we get and use all of our programs globally to bring them together to meet the needs that our associates are telling us they have.
So I'm glad you mentioned the rewards program too. So what type of rewards though can people earn by getting these points through Virgin Pulse?
That's a really good question. So honestly, whatever you can dream, you can get it on the platform. It's really phenomenal. The rewards and recognition platform is called Ovations. It's very social based. So you can give each other kudos on it. You can put a GIF in there. You can put a meme in there. So everybody is seeing the kind of interaction that each other are having. And then when you do earn those points, you can spend them on electronics, sunglasses, purses. You can get travel vouchers. You can get, I mean, really just everything you can think of: home goods, outdoor items, things for your kids, toys.
Wow.
And you can also get time off if you'd like to redeem your time for additional time off, or your points for additional time off. You have that option as well. So we wanted it to be something for everyone, where there was something that everyone could find that they would want for their hard work on our wellness program, but also for their hard work day to day, when they also get recognition and rewards for that as well.
Yeah, so I feel like there's a lot going on. You got a lot of added benefits, and you're really trying to create a healthy environment, a happy environment, build teamwork as well. Now, when you're recruiting, how do you use your wellness programs in the recruiting process?
That's great. Yeah. So Carolyn Lewis, who's our Director of Talent Acquisition, is extremely invested in our wellness program as well. And I will say that the most investment that we get in our wellness program is really from our senior leadership. Frankly, they're making a commitment in the way of finances, for sure. This is a financial commitment that the organization is making. It's a time commitment, because we ask our senior leadership to be engaged in the program as well. And so everybody at every level is really engaged in the program, and that includes Carolyn, our Director of Talent Acquisition. So she doesn't just talk about the program, she participates on the program, so that when she's recruiting associates, and when she's trying to get people to join the organization, she can know, is this okay? Is this a touch point for them that would be important? Is health and well-being something that's important to this person we want to join the team? Well, great, because I know everything there is to know about our program, and I can share that with them.
One of the things, Tovah, that this Hints from HR is really about is sharing information for both job seekers and operators. And so we always try to think about what's helpful for the job seeker to know, what's sort of the hint, what's going to help them get a job or really a career path, and then what's helpful for the operators. So I would think that when someone's looking for a new company to be with, a new position, that what the health and wellness benefits are, that it's something important to the company, that's something to look for. You know this world pretty well, very well. So what would you think a job seeker should be looking for in terms of health and wellness?
I would just say that you want to make sure, and this is simple stuff that you can go on an organization's website and see, is it talked about on their website? Is it something that they are advertising? Because if health and well-being is important to you, and I really think it should be to everyone, because it speaks to the culture of the organization, if there's a willingness to put the effort into a health and well-being program. And so if an organization has that type of program, trust me, they're going to want to make sure you know about it. So you should be able to go on their website, you should be able to learn more about it, and you should be able to ask, whether you're talking to the hiring manager or you're talking to a recruiting manager, you should be able to ask questions about the program, and they should know. That's one thing that we really try to do, is engage people at every level. We have a champions network for our wellness program. There are Fit for Funds champions, and they are associates from all levels in the organization across the country. So these are folks that go above and beyond to make sure that they're knowledgeable about the program, and that they are using their knowledge to motivate other people. And they're great people to talk to too. When someone's looking to come onto the organization, it's a great opportunity to talk to someone else who might know a little bit more about the program. So we try to empower people with the information about the program so that they can, spread the word and let people know. And so if you're a job seeker, there shouldn't be any shortage of information. You should be able to find it pretty easily if it's important to you.
So, Tovah, I have a quick question too. How long has this program been in existence, and how often do you revisit it, build upon it, and what initiated it in general?
So Fit for Funds existed before I came here. So Phil Altschler, who's our Senior Vice President of HR and Training, was sort of came up with the idea of Fit for Funds, and came up with the idea that it needed to be a program that encouraged people to take care of themselves, and that they would get something in return. It would be great if we could say, like, oh, just being healthy is your gift. But that's not usually the way that people work, right? So what can we give them in return that has value? And so the program has changed, like I said, over the years. We've changed the amount, how much people could earn as a part of the program. We've certainly changed that several times over the year. In 2017 is when we began our partnership with Virgin Pulse, and that really just completely changed the program. And then the most recent change that we made to the program was when we renewed with Virgin Pulse in 2020. We added on as a part of their program, specific part of their program related to mental health and well-being. So, Becca brought up that, or maybe Blaze, I'm sorry, it was you, what do you take away from people when they give you feedback? How do you change it? And we heard, like everybody else, that people oftentimes feel stressed out. Maybe they feel like they don't really have an outlet for that stress. And so what's a way that we can help them? So beginning in 2020, our program actually started to include a mental health and well-being focus. So a focus on getting good sleep, a focus on learning how to do yoga, a focus on mindfulness, a focus on being happier, and a focus on how to increase your growth potential. So those were all things that we've added to the program to kind of keep the program fresh and make sure that we're responding to what our associates need.
Yeah, I think the mental health aspect, as we're navigating through this pandemic too, it's been extremely difficult for everybody. Everybody's been touched by it at some point, and I think mental health awareness has increased drastically, obviously over the last year and a half, let's say. But I think it's great that you guys have recognized that too, and have built upon it a little bit more in order to take care of the your entire culture and community, because property management, you guys are in the mix of things because you're also trying to help out all your residents on site too. They're going through the same thing. Absolutely. And it's great that they have an outlet to do such. Can you touch a little bit on mental health as a whole and how it, how you guys navigated through COVID?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, 2020 was a challenging year for every industry, but I would make an argument that it was more challenging for ours. Our associates are frontline workers, they had to be there working. There was uncertainty, there was nervousness surrounding a number of different things. And what was in our control was how can we respond to some of the nervousness or some of the anxieties that we're hearing about as it relates to our wellness program. And so one thing we heard really early on, and this, you may not think of this as mental health and well-being, but we found that it was, is that folks were really concerned about their 401k accounts. So they started to see their investments going down, as we all saw at the beginning of the pandemic. And it was causing a lot of anxiety in our associates. And they were like rushing to ask, how do I take my money out? What do I do? And we were like, whoa, okay, this is clearly a problem. It's clearly something we need to address. So we worked with our 401k provider, we worked with our broker partner, and we created like a webinar series in both English and Spanish about the importance of staying the course with your investments and why that was a part of financial wellness and why that was important for you to belay some of those anxieties and make sure that you're staying the course, you're keeping cool, and hey, here's one less worry we can take off of your plate for right now. So that was sort of a unique thing that we maybe wouldn't have seen coming as a result of COVID, but it was an unknown or sort of unexpected anxiety that we wanted to make sure we were addressing. Additionally, we typically try to focus quarterly challenges on our wellness program. We typically try to make them movement related, fitness related. That was not the right thing to be doing in 2020. Like, we all had enough going on. If you were getting up and walking at all, you were a hero. It was really tough. We were baking bread. Everybody was doing whatever they needed to do. So we realized, okay, this is not the right call. We're not going to do something like this. And so we held a challenge called Coping and Kindness Through Crisis. And the whole challenge was really just designed for associates to help one another by sending, 1 week, the focus was reach out to a different associate every day and just tell them that you're thinking about them. Another week was like, reach out to a frontline worker that you may not know and say thank you, whether it was leaving a note, whatever it may be. So letting people use a program that we already had to sort of shift their perspective a little bit and focus on taking a breath, focusing on how they were feeling mentally, how they were feeling emotionally, versus focusing on things like fitness and steps, and that just didn't really feel appropriate at the time. So, we try to be creative and try to use the resources that we have, and maybe kind of, be flexible with them to make them answer whatever's going on in that moment.
No, that's really special too. I feel like, little acts of kindness just like that go a really long way. I do kind of want to shift gears real quick because I feel like there's a couple things that I do want to touch on before we run out of time, because I feel like it's flying. And maybe you kind of mentioned this really quick, but the Sunshine Fund.
Sure.
Can you tell us a little bit about what the Sunshine Fund is?
Absolutely. So the Sunshine Fund is a great one to talk about, certainly in the wake of COVID. 2020 was a hard year, but a lot of years are hard years for a lot of different reasons. And so the Sunshine Fund was created to be a place where associates could ask for financial assistance in the case of an unexpected tragedy of some kind. So that might be that they've lost a family member, that it's their responsibility to pay for the funeral expenses, or that may be that there was some kind of act of God that, ruined their home and they can't afford the deductible to get the insurance, or something that's really just a really horrible situation that none of us should ever want to go through. None of us should ever want anyone else to go through. But if they do, we want to have something available to help them. And so the Sunshine Fund is there for associates to ask for financial assistance. And what I think is the most impressive thing about the Sunshine Fund is that it's completely employee funded. So the way the Sunshine Fund works is that when you complete your benefits enrollment, you can sign up to contribute $1 per paycheck, $2 per paycheck, and those dollars go right into the Sunshine Fund. So I make a contribution biweekly through my paycheck, and I know that those funds are there. They're going to a place that's going to help a fellow associate, and it's something that I can feel really good about, and our associates feel really good about. It's very confidential. We don't really share, obviously, what it is. I am lucky that I get to be a part of the approval process. So I get to see how the Sunshine Fund helps people. And all I can say is that, for some people, it changes their lives. It really does. So super important thing that we're really proud of.
Two-part question on it too. Do you have to enroll in the Sunshine Fund in order to be eligible for it? And also, how many employees do you guys have? And are you able to share maybe how many of them or what percentage contribute to the Sunshine Fund?
Sure. So you do not have to participate. You do not have to contribute to the Sunshine Fund in order to apply. That's not something that we look at all. We have about, percentage-wise, it's about 40% of our associates that contribute to the Sunshine Fund. So, it's a really good number. And the number varies of the number of people that we help each year, but on an average year, there are typically about 1 to 2 requests per month that come into the Sunshine Fund. So, like anywhere, if we're changing 12 to 20 people's lives each year, just as a function of the Sunshine Fund. So it's definitely something to be very proud of.
Well, I think it speaks to culture. It speaks to making things like that a priority. And, we talked about what the job seeker needs to think about in relations to this conversation. One of the things that Blaze and Nicole have been really good at doing throughout this whole series is talking about these are things that you need to make sure you're budgeting for. If you want to do this, think about it. It's important. It can have a huge impact, but you need to budget for it. And these can't be things that just stay on the shelf and don't get reviewed over and over again, like you spoke about earlier, Tovah. They have to be sort of living, breathing things that are reviewed and, things like that.
This is also why it's extremely important if you're seeking an opportunity with an organization to do your homework, do your research. Like you said, Tovah, all this information is on your website and it's easily accessible. You made the point that, they're making this investment. They want people to know about it. They want to know, we want you to know about the culture and what we're doing for our organization. So if you're searching for an opportunity somewhere, make sure that you do your homework so you know what questions to ask during the interview process as well.
Absolutely.
Learn about all the added benefits.
And I think when it comes to looking for a job, and at Gables, the tenure here is I think our average tenure is around 8 years right now, and that's just our average tenure. When you go up higher in the organization, it gets even longer years than that. So we're really looking for people when they come to Gables, we're really looking for people that want to make Gables their family for a very long time. And so what that means is we want you to ask questions. So if you're a job seeker, like there is no bad question, ask it, you know, and if the hiring manager or the recruiting manager doesn't know, then what they're going to do is they're going to find out the answer. But there's no such thing as a bad question. You spend more time at work than you do with your family. It should be a place that you really love. It should be a place that you enjoy going to. And so you want to make sure that you're getting all the information you can about the organization and its culture.
Are there any enrollment or HR benefit questions that you wish people would ask?
Oh, that's a good one. I think, you know, it's interesting. My like favorite benefit that no one, I think, has low utilization, not just for us, but everywhere, is our employee assistance program. So I'm always really surprised about how infrequently people think to use the EAP. The EAP is a great resource. It not only offers you counseling, face-to-face counseling sessions, it also offers you, in some cases like ours, has some legal advice, assistance with looking over contracts. You know, there's all sorts of things that they can help you with. Elder care, if you're looking to try to find elder care. So the EAP is one of those things that I wish people talked about more. I wish organizations promoted more. I think even certainly we can do better at it too. But that's one we always try to bring up at the benefits fairs, because I wish more people took advantage of it, and I wish more people talked about it, because I think it's a great benefit. I really do.
Interesting.
And as you're saying that you want to talk about it, I'm going to change the topic.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned tenure before, and I really want to just jump to this real quick. You said the average is 8 years. You were saying that you've been with Gables over 10. There's a special milestone at 10 and beyond. Maybe you could talk about the sabbatical program that Gables offers.
Absolutely. I'd love to talk about the sabbatical program. So yeah, our sabbatical program is when you've been with the organization for 10 years, you are eligible for a 6-week paid sabbatical. So it is 6 weeks away from work to do at that time whatever you will. You know, we hear stories all the time. People go on amazing trips. One of my actually coworkers, who's one of our regional HR managers, she's with her family right now, and they're going to different like national parks. So that's something that they're doing with their time. You can use that time. People use it sometimes. I remember my one of my prior supervisors, she'd use it to do home improvements around her house. That was because when do you have that kind of time off when you can focus on a project like that? So the 6 weeks is really yours to do with whatever you want. And everyone at Gables knows that when someone is on sabbatical, you leave them alone. So this is not, it's not like it's not like they took a Friday off and you can call them if you really need something. No, they're on sabbatical. You need to leave them alone. They've worked really hard to get to that point. And if that wasn't good enough, then after your first sabbatical, every 5 years thereafter, you're eligible for another sabbatical.
Nice.
So it's not uncommon at Gables for people to take 2, 3, 4 sabbaticals. It's not uncommon at all.
So what if you wait till 15 years kicks in? Can you go out for 12 weeks?
It's creative, but no, that's not the way it works.
That doesn't work
6
like
weeks is
that.
the max.
It's very creative. It's very creative. This is awesome.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like there's been so many great takeaways today. I know there's a handful of them that I've already brought up after our intake call to Gemstar, my organization I'm employed by. Sabbatical was one of them, and they got a good laugh. So, but yeah, I feel like though you guys are doing a tremendous job, creating a great culture over there, and I hope people listening and watching out there can have those takeaways as well and learn something from this conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really, like you guys we're talking about from the perspective of the operator and the job seeker. It benefits both to build a really, really fantastic health and well-being program. It really does. If you have a great program that encourages your associates to live healthy lives, to live happier lives, to grow, not just professionally, but personally, they're going to do better for you as the operator. So it really it benefits everybody on both sides to just make sure that you're really investing into your wellness program, because you're investing directly into your associates there. And it doesn't have to be, you know, if you're a smaller organization, year one, start with something homegrown like we did. Just do whatever you can to make wellness a priority, and it will continue to grow over time organically, as long as you continue to listen to what your associates are looking for and you make changes in response to that.
What a great wrap up. Thank you, Tovah.
Yeah.
This is great. Thank you, Blaze. Join us on June 23rd for the second episode of How to Speak Maintenance. This is our new series to help the office and maintenance staff better understand each other and speak maintenance. So join us on the 23rd and on July 14th for the next episode of Hints from HR. Right?
Awesome. Hey,
All
thanks,
right.
Becca.
Thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye.